You're watching News Epicenter with me, Marya, Shakil. The reshuffle is complete and clearly the die is cast for the election wars as the Modi government is almost halfway through its second term. Beyond the agenda for good governance and performance reviews of ministers, the reshuffle is clearly aimed at priming the election machinery to retain key battlegrounds and expand the BJP's presence in territories where it has gained a foothold, all to ensure a third term in 2024. Key to attaining power in any general election is the kingmaker state of Uttar Pradesh. It was central to the saffron sweep of 2019, where the BJP cracked the caste engineering of non-Yadav OBCs and non-Jatav Dalits, now going all out to do the same again. 7 new ministers have been inducted from the poll-bound state with an interesting caste combination of Kurmis, Kori, Pasi and Dhangar Dalits, along with 1 minister from the prominent Lod community and 1 Brahmin face. It is a serious outreach by the BJP as well as to allies to represent these sections and mobilize the key voter bases to hold the state, as the other contenders try to cobble up their own combinations to tackle and handle the saffron juggernaut. If we look at the other state, which has got the second most bigger representation after Uttar Pradesh, the message has been sent in Maharashtra that the BJP, even though it is the largest party in the assembly, is going all out to chip away at the Agadi alliance's vote bank. 4 ministers, including Maratha strongman Narendra Modi, have been inducted, while the other 3 have been picked from OBC and tribal communities to consolidate and expand the BJP's base. In Bengal, where the BJP failed to overthrow Mamata Banerjee, the Saffron Party aims to expand its 2019 saffron surge, giving 4 berths to influential tribal and OBC leaders, 2 from the powerful Rajbanshi and Matua communities, who hold sizable influence among multiple assembly segments. The BJP also has 2 ministers from Odisha, Rajya Sabha MP, former IAS officer and personal secretary to the Prime Minister then, Mr. Vajpayee. Ashwini Vaishnav has been given the key portfolios of railways and IT, while influential tribal leader Biseshwar Tudu has been given 2 MOS posts. A major political exercise has shown its contours via this reshuffle. How will it play out on ground ahead of 2022 assembly polls and finally the Lok Sabha polls of 2024? To decode that, I have a rather interesting panel tonight. Sanjay Kumar, Professor CSDS, Zafar Islam, Member of Parliament of the BJP, Sabah Naqvi, Senior Journalist, Shama Mohammed, Spokesperson of the Congress, will be joining me in just a bit, Sumansi Raman, Political Analyst. I'm going to begin with you, Sanjay Kumar. Since I was going through your article, you say that one reading is that this is more than just providing good governance. This is in fact about social engineering. The careful selection of new ministers, keeping in mind the caste and also the state representation. It is for electoral mobilization. When you say so, is it just for 2022, or are you of the opinion that there are elections towards the later part of 22, which includes the state of Gujarat, and finally the big battle for 2024?
So, Marya, I think BJP is looking for short-term gain, electoral gains, as well as long-term electoral gains. Short-term electoral gains, going by the number of people who have been inducted into the cabinet from UP, Uttarakhand. So, this is an indication of they are looking for gains, to make gains in UP and Uttarakhand. But if you look at the entire, the large number of people who have been inducted into the cabinet, if you look at the profile in terms of the social profile, there are large number of OBCs and large number of Dalits. And we all know that BJP has been successful in 2014 and 2019 elections, not because only OBC and Dalits have voted, other communities have also voted. But during these last 5-7 years, there is a big shift of OBCs and Dalits in favor of BJP. If BJP want to repeat this into 2024, they need to retain the votes of 20 Dalits and the OBC. So there is a carefully selected these leaders who belong to these communities, and also look at the state representation. I think almost people are from 25 states. Yes. So BJP is not leaving out even West Bengal or say Tamil Nadu or Karnataka or Kerala. So that gives me a sense that BJP is also trying to keep an eye on the big 2024 election. It's not only for short-term gain, but also for the long-term gains to win the 2024 Lok Sabha election.
Yes, I'm going to talk about the OBC consolidation because you specifically refer to that. And one of the reasons for the BJP's success in 2014 and further consolidation from 31% to 37% in 2019 has been this shift among the Dalits and OBCs. And among the OBCs, 34% voted for the BJP in 2014, which increased to 44% in 2019 Lok Sabha elections. Yeah. Which means that they are looking at this constituency very closely. And Sabha, that is the reason why when we look at the overall caste, calculation or caste thought, 27 OBC ministers in all.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Marya, here's what I think. There was a lot of outrage among some section of the commentary that how did the BJP give the caste breakup like this? I think people fail to understand that even at the time when the BJP arrived with the Ram Janmabhoomi movement, even at that time there was Govindacharya who spoke of social engineering. Yes. The Bharatiya Janata Party, you may talk about the Brahmins in the RSS and all, they have always, even in the Vajpayee era, they promoted OBC chief ministers such as Kalyan Singh and Uma Bharati. And then there was Narendra Modi himself, right, who was sent to Gujarat. So the BJP has always moved with this social engineering plan. In the Narendra Modi era, what they have done very, very successfully, and I've written about this in my book also, yes, is that they went after the non-dominant OBC caste and the non-dominant Dalit caste. And they've had great success with that, particularly in Uttar Pradesh, terrific success with that. So if they are giving you a breakup, they are actually just revealing what we all go and examine on the ground anyway. Yes. So I didn't know why people were getting so worked up about that. Yes, it was a new element, but this is what the Bharatiya Janata Party does. Yes. You were in Bengal also, and so as was I. In Bengal also, they tried the social engineering. They have got some success with some communities which have been out of the, who have not benefited from traditional politics. And they want to retain that for the Lok Sabha elections. Okay. So it is very much from the caste front, there is no doubt that they have done a good, a smart exercise.
Okay,
from the caste
let
perspective.
Me shift focus from Uttar Pradesh to Maharashtra now. And on that note, I'll be bringing in Zafar Islam. Zafar Islam, what value does a Narayan Rane bring on the table? Because let's not forget that similar experiment that has happened, the Congress did. We have seen how Congress calculation with him went wrong, and this also led to his decline within the party. In 2014, Rane lost the assembly elections from a seat which was considered to be a stronghold, and thereafter we saw what has happened. So is this also an acceptance that for all your efforts that have been made in trying to create differences within the Mahavikas Aghadi, that has not worked? Because here is someone who understands perhaps the vulnerabilities of various Shiv Sena MLAs, and that's the reason why he has been brought in.
Well, let me first tell you that he is a very strong leader. He is a mass leader. His presence in Sindhudurg is something which everyone knows that how strong he is. If Congress has not been able to capitalize his strength, that doesn't mean that BJP will not be able to do it. BJP is a party which gives opportunity to everyone. Congress is only centric to family. Here it's a person who has the potential, and that potential will be used by the party for the benefit of the party, and that's something which will be done, and you will get to see that
despite all the tactics in the book that the BJP may have used in the last few months, the BJP has not been able to break the MVA. Mahavikas Aghadi remains intact.
Well, Marya, see, Mahavikas Aghadi is the government. It has nothing to do with Narayan Rane becoming the minister. He has become minister purely on his own strength, and what strength he brings to the table, and Bharatiya Janata Party recognizes his strength, and that is why they value it, and that's why he has been given the opportunity to not only to prove himself but also to expand. But let me tell you.
Quickly.
Just a second. As far as MVA is concerned, I mean, it has to fall. I mean, you will see eventually it will fall.
Okay.
They will disintegrate because the three parties, they are not focused on delivering to people, serving to the people. They are serving themselves. And everybody is you come to Mumbai and find out from every single man on the street that this government is only focused on serving themselves.
Shama,
And how long they
why
can
is the
continue to that?
Congress fuming particularly with the current civil aviation minister? He did not get his due in the Congress party. He was part of Team Rahul. He left. He has been rewarded here.
Hi, Marya. This is the third day we're discussing, with due respect to you, about this cabinet reshuffle. And I believe the petrol prices have to be discussed. It's 106 rupees per litre in the capital right now. Petrol and diesel is 97, when the world petrol price is 70. But having said that, I'm going to first reply to what Zafar said. Zafar mentioned about Narayan Rane. In Narayan Rane's case, who accused him of money laundering? Not the Congress party, but the Bharatiya Janata Party. It was the Prime Minister of India when he was the Gujarat CM, as well as all the others who accused him of money laundering. Now, what I don't understand from the party is, some of the spokespersons in the last 3 days, they come and tell us that, you know what, they have not been asked for performance. We have just asked them. But then the rest of them say, look at Prime Minister Modi. He's done a surgical strike. He has asked. So I'm failed to understand what exactly is this cabinet reshuffle from their side, their perspective, because we are not clear. Now, if they have to act according to performance, the first should go be Nirmala Sitharaman. For the worst economic performance, we left them with 8% GDP. We are at 1% right now. And before that, last year was at a period minus 23. So we left them with a GDP of that, and we have an inflation of 6%. We have an unemployment of 14%. You know, and look at the petrol prices. Then, if you look at the other part, again, the Home Minister should have been asked, as I've told many a times, that because, you know, Delhi riots happened, we don't know who caused the riots, what has happened to it. Only the protesters at the Shaheen Bagh have been put behind bars for UAPA. Those who instigated the riots, where is the investigation? Who are the culprits? We do not know. What happened to the Red Fort? The Red Fort had been breached for the first time in the history of India. What happened to that? So if you look at that, and of course the Defense Minister, where China still sits on our land. So I want to know from the Bharatiya Janata Party, Marya, is what is it about?
The entire CCS should have been packed off, and that's why I'm asking Zafar Islam a quick response from you.
It's about next year's election. It's about election.
Yes, it is about election. So what is the party supposed to be doing? Any party is always in an election mode. They prepare for election. What is wrong in it? Okay, Zafar, go ahead.
Marya, the difference is, Marya, I'll tell you the difference. You asked me a question.
See, the problem with Shema that she endlessly speaks. You have asked me.
Okay, we have lost that connection with Shema Mohammed.
Can I
we'll
just
try
speak,
and
please?
fix. Yes, go ahead, Zafar. 20 seconds you have, and
Good,
then I'll bring
she
in the
lost because she
panelists.
endlessly speaks.
Yes, go ahead. Make your
All
point.
I'm saying that
Yes.
by this reshuffle, the Honorable Prime Minister has been able to address caste communities, the aspiration of caste communities. He could bring the talent, the technocrats, the youth, this experience. Everything is there in the reshuffle. It's a reshuffle which actually bring a lot of prosperity to the country, because all the people who have been given the responsibility, they bring something on the table.
Suman C. Raman. Okay, Suman C.
Raman.
Okay, Suman C. Raman, let me ask my question first. Let me ask my question first. My question to you is, can Tamil Nadu be the same what Telangana was for the BJP in 2019? Look at what has happened. El Murugan been rewarded for his effort in ensuring that the BJP won 4 seats in the recent assembly elections, which is a feat certainly, which has been achieved by a party for the first time in 2 decades. So the question is, can it be the new catchment area? Can Tamil Nadu be the new catchment area?
Look, Marya, the BJP certainly needs new catchment areas for 2024. And yesterday's appointment of Mr. Annamalai, who is a former IPS officer as a state BJP president, and he's a youngster. So I think that they really are looking to mean business out here now. But going back to the larger question of the cabinet reshuffle itself, yes, social engineering, yes, elections, but also very importantly, a signal that defectors from other parties are welcome and they will be rewarded. Jyotiraditya Scindia is not just the one example. In Maharashtra, out of the 4 inductees, Three of them, Narayan Rane, Mr. Kapil Patil, and Dr. Bharati Pawar, are all from other parties. So the BJP is sending out a signal, and maybe the signal is also at the state level to the Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi that, you know what, maybe if you sort of wanted to change sides, you will be rewarded. So I think that that is a very significant message, and I agree with Shama on what she said about what is the message? Why have these people been dropped? Now, there is no clear answer. Mr. Zafar Islam, can you please tell us why was Dr. Harshvardhan dropped if the COVID pandemic handling was perfect? Why has Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, such a senior minister who was virtually one of the key spokespersons for the government, been dropped? Why has Mr. Prakash Javadekar, another senior minister, been dropped? So
Can I just
clearly,
respond?
you
Can I
have
just-
to make up your mind
Can I just respond?
whether they have been dropped for performance
Can I
or
just
they have been
respond?
dropped for any other reason. Yes, sir.
Can I just
Yes, go
can
ahead,
I
Zafar.
let me respond. First of all, it is a very different political party. There is a democracy in this party. Every worker is seen as equals. Whether it's Ravi Shankar Prasad or Zafar Islam, all of them are equal. Everybody is equal in this party, and that's why position is not permanent. It is given whenever the honorable Prime Minister
Cabinet
feels
ministers
the
holding
opportunity should be
multiple
given to
portfolios
somebody.
being
So-
dropped, and is that an explanation that Ravi Shankar Prasad is same as Zafar Islam?
No, but is it also an explanation?
No, I'm
that
saying
Is
he
it
the
about
Karyakarta- everybody is a
incompetency?
Karyakarta.
Is it about non-performance?
No, he has done a great job. Let me tell you, it is nothing to only a performance. He's done a great job. All I'm trying to tell you that when
would you
this
drop somebody who's done a great job?
response.
Sir,
Let
why
me
do
listen,
you
allow me to
drop
complete.
somebody who's
Why
done
the
a great
responsibility?
job?
Allow. This man doesn't listen. He just keep asking same question repeatedly.
He's an
Can you just
analyst.
listen to me, please?
His
Because
name is
you're not
Sumansi
answering.
Raman. He has asked you a
Doesn't
specific
matter
question.
who is it.
Why would you
Doesn't
drop
matter
those who are
Doesn't matter who
performers?
is he. I'm a. Oh my God! You have to repeat the same question, Marya. Please have some sense. I have understood the question. Can
ahead,
you
go
just
ahead.
allow me to respond? All I'm saying, that is not only the performance. That's what I'm saying. It's not only. It's a big organization. If somebody is competent, he can be reallocated some other responsibilities, and that other responsibility he can discharge because the party needs him somewhere else. It is a family. Do you understand that? Here, there's the democracy. Here, everybody is equal. If somebody has the capability
Shama
and
wants
competence,
to make a point.
he
Shama,
may be
come in.
reallocated. Some other responsibility
Shama
can be
wants to
given.
make a point.
It's
ahead,
not
Shama.
Congress party where the permanent fixture is there. It's not.
Okay, Shama.
No, Marya, you had mentioned, I think my phone got cut. But see, there is a difference between the party and you said every party will do its election. Yes, you can make organizational changes in the party. But when the government of India, for me, my Prime Minister is Narendra Modi too. Or my Minister is former Prakash Javadekar or whoever comes in, Babul Supriyo, when he was the Minister, he's not a BJP's Minister, it's the country's Minister. So of course you have to look at efficiency of people and give them, they're efficient, they're doing their job, then you ask them. But if you have Mr. Paul still continuing in Niti Aayog and you remove a Harshvardhan, Mr. Paul is somebody who said, Dr. Paul, who said last year that the COVID, it will be over, the positive cases will be over by May 16, 2020. So we really, so what I'm trying to say is that it has to be due to efficiency. But if you're looking at caste things, it's about next year's election. That's all this is about. All this cabinet reshuffle is nothing to do with whether they're efficient or not. It is about next year's election. We need to win another election. Nobody cares about the petrol price. Nobody cares about vaccination. We had on the 21st of June, we had 80 lakh vaccination doses being given. What has it been for the last 3 days? I will tell you, Monday 35, Tuesday 36, Wednesday 38. So what are we seeing? We have to be at least 90
So there are
lakh
challenges,
doses
particularly
per
on
day
the vaccination
to
drive.
reach
That
06.
is certainly a big
So
challenge. Let me go back to the
December.
analysts,
Why are we
and
not
I'll
doing
give 1 minute to each of them, and I'm going to begin with you, Sanjay Kumar. We are looking at Odisha and Bengal now. There is a new entrant, which is an Adivasi face here in Bishweshwar Tudu. He is a first-time BJP lawmaker from Mayurbhanj. BJP has 8 of 21 MPs from Odisha, and it is a gain certainly from what they had in 2014. Can Odisha, again I am saying, is the in Bengal or in Odisha, has BJP reached the maximum that they could have got in 2019, or can they make gains in these two states? Where in assembly we know what has happened. You know,
Marya, it's very
Naveen Patnaik
difficult
and Mamata Banerjee continue to dominate.
No, it's very difficult to say, Mamta, that they have reached the peak in Odisha or in West Bengal. Why should we assume that they have reached peak by winning 8 out of 21 seats? Why should we assume that they have reached peak by winning 18 out of 40 seats in West Bengal? I think they can improve upon their performance in West Bengal and Odisha. There is a lot of scope for them, and I think they are carefully working towards that. And that is why 4 ministers have been inducted from West Bengal. And you rightly mentioned that ministers have been inducted keeping this in mind from Odisha also. So I don't think they have reached the peak. There is always a chance for them to improve in these two states.
And you know, again, when we look at it, Northeast, there are 5 ministers in all from Northeast, and they are representing 4 states: Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Tripura.
So also, this is, as I said, Maria, that if you look at the state-wise representation in the ministry, the expansion, 25 people, 25 states are being represented in this reshuffle. So they are keeping an eye on each and every state. Maybe in different, they are giving different weightages, maybe less weightages to Tamil Nadu, even though Tamil Nadu has larger number of seats because of their lesser presence in Tamil Nadu. But since they have already made presence in the Northeast, they don't want to lose their hold in Northeast. They want to keep their hold on the Northeast and also send out a message. Look, all the time the point is being made is that, you know, there has been no ministers from Tripura in the cabinet for so many years. So they want to also hog the headlines of the newspaper to say this is the first time this government has been able to do. So they don't want to lose control on the Northeast, and that is why a lot of representation from Northeast,
which they have won, they'll continue. They would want to retain those while looking at, you know, say a Tamil Nadu where they have just managed a foothold to make gains. Sumansi Raman, you did not ask answer my question. I'm going to ask again. Can Tamil Nadu be Telangana of 2019 and 2024?
Very, very difficult. Very, very difficult, because the BJP is and remains a single-digit party in Tamil Nadu. Their 4 MLAs are because of the AIADMK, which still is the is the major player in that alliance. The point I wanted to make, Marya, was regarding Orissa. Orissa is a very interesting case because last time, at the time of the assembly elections, it was widely felt that the BJP had not gone the full distance to take on Naveen Patnaik for very many reasons. And now it seems that they are getting ready to battle him in right earnest. And it works both ways, because Mr. Patnaik was quite supportive of the BJP in parliament. So the point is, there is another state also, Andhra Pradesh, where the BJP potentially has an opportunity to grow. But Jagan Reddy is towing the BJP line. So will they sort of, try to go full blast to get rid of Jagan Reddy? Those are very interesting questions.
Okay, I'll give the final words to Sabha. Sabha, while we look at various states, you know, what started in 2014 and the transition and the growth, and of course, midway losing states as well.
Yeah.
While they make inroads, they have lost states. Let's not forget that. How is it looking like in 2022 in particular, and going forward to 2024?
So, absolutely, Marya, the BJP has never performed so well in assemblies as they have in national elections. However, I will say one thing, and I agree with many of the points Shama has made, but she must be aware of it, that the Bharatiya Janata Party will take a small space in the opposition, such as they have in Odisha, where the Congress should be the opposition. And they already have a strategy to try and grow over there. Who would have thought a typical Congress reaction to losing a state like Bengal, where you pitch so much, would be, oh my God, I'm deflated, you know. They want to still hang on to whatever potential gains they have for the Lok Sabha. Their look east policy is not over. Beyond UP, which is fairly self-evident, we don't have to even, where people are making a mistake saying, I read some article somewhere saying it's only about UP. It's not. It's also about the larger investing in regions where you actually don't have a state, but you hope to get there in the future.
All right.
So
Sabha,
that
we have
is very
really
clear.
come to the end
Yeah.
of this discussion
Yeah,
because my
thanks.
director is telling me to wrap this discussion. Thank you so much to all the panelists who joined and shared their thoughts. That's all from me. We'll continue this discussion on news18.com. Thanks so much for watching.